Yeah, I'm back. Well, I'm responding to MrLama, who made a statement on the video titled "He Has a Black Friend," and he's saying, "But player, the Mexican population is really growing in America. I heard that by 250, the Latino population is going to way outnumber white folks in America. Look at communities like Compton. I say that was a black community. And by the way, fellas, to let you guys know, it still is a predominantly black community. The Latinos, they have another section of LA. Okay, you're listening. He goes, I knew it was because the NWA rapped about it, but now mostly Mexicans live there. There was a drive of many blacks moving out to better neighborhoods. Okay, player watched the documentary Hidden Color by Tariq Nasheed, and I don't know what I do with the DVD for the third time. I've watched it, and as I said to MrLama, there was nothing new for me in that documentary. As I said to you personally, there was nothing new for me in that documentary because I knew everything and I knew all of the speakers except for one woman. I've listened to many of the speakers on there. One speaker I don't care for listening to, but I have listened to a ton of his videos. Okay, I have watched the video for the last time. No offense. You live in Australia. You're getting propaganda, brother. You're getting propaganda. And by the way, what is the harm in? Why is it so dangerous for Latinos to outnumber white folks? Think about that. Why? When you start looking at the silliness of that, yeah, why does it really matter? When you start thinking to yourself, damn, they got me. And they got you. Okay? Propaganda got you. I realize, you're biracial. I'm not sure which side. And that's hard for a lot of people who are biracial. You don't know which side to take. Should I take my white side or should I take my black side? And I don't know how they treat biracial people in Australia, but here in this country, you're black. So you pick and choose what side you want to represent, if you want to call it sides. But they used to have this one drop rule, one drop of black blood. That's what white folks created themselves. We didn't do this. You're black. But you've listened to propaganda. That means there's a lot of people that's pushing stuff that's going on over here, down there. And the white population is actually a minority in the world. I believe it's about 15% of the people in the world are Caucasian or something like that. It's a minority. So becoming a minority in the United States, I don't really see that happening. That's why they're trying to stop, Mexicans from coming into the country, because that racial annihilation fear. And I think if I was white, I would probably understand it better, because actually, I really don't even think about that. I don't, if one race of humanity, you'd say, but dies out, humanity still continues because we got all the other races. I'm not saying that I'm wishing any race to die out, but I'm saying, I don't think about that. Maybe because I'm black, I don't know. I'm not in a white folks' shoes. If I try to step into that shoe and see it from that point of view, I still don't care, because I'm alive now. Okay, and if I was white and I had white kids, my kids are alive, so I know that my family line will go on. I don't see the Caucasian race totally dying out. I see it dropping way down to its extreme minority on the planet. I can see that. Just make you more special. I don't get the fear, but I know that what caused white supremacy, according to Dr. Chris Welsling, is the fear of racial annihilation. Because when they started breeding, I hate to use the word breed, but that's what they did, black and white together, when they started bringing us this country, they got a black person. And that did put fear into that race. When you breed a black and a white person together, you get another black person. and it takes a couple of generations for the evidence to kind of go away. I'm trying to be gentle here. There are mulattoes or biracials that will marry someone Caucasian, and their kids still come out with some black features. I've seen some really Johnson blonde-haired little girls, and the mother was half black, half Greek, and the father was Caucasian, but they still came out with African features, though, in their nose and lips and all that kind of stuff. But they had that Johnson blonde hair. You don't know what that is? Look up the commercials. They were like super blondes. And then if their kids grew, and I have seen also biracial marry Caucasian, and the kid looks really close to white, but you can still see some features there. Because black is actually, I hate to say this, but black is a dominant gene, as well as Asian is a dominant gene. Unfortunately, Mexican is not a dominant gene, because the Mexican race started off as American Indians, and then they got the Spaniard blood, so their blood is mixed. No offense to my Mexican brothers. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm trying to give you guys the truth. But that's why when you breed black, when you have a black parent and a Mexican parent, the child comes out black. You know, you go. There was a girl that worked at one of the places, fitness studios I worked at. I didn't know she was half Mexican. She looked like a regular sister. You know, just had a little bit longer hair. Some sisters, you'll grow longer hair, and that's what happens. The difference is, you know, if the Mexican is the father, then the child. I have seen that where I thought the kid, I didn't know what he was. He was like, he had straight hair, but he looked like a Samoan, but he didn't, and I saw black features, and I finally asked him. He said, you know, my mom's black, my dad's Mexican, and he was huge. So, but you know, black is a dominant gene, as well as a very strong gene, as well as the Asian gene. The only thing that wiped the Asian gene out is the black gene, because it's the original gene on the planet. So I do understand, you know, that, you know, Caucasian folks can feel racial annihilation fear, and that's probably what's stimulating the guy doing those videos and stuff. I forgot to mention that in the video he was saying the Moors were white people, Caucasoids. He didn't even give it to Arabs. He even stole it from, you know, there were some Arabs that came with the Moors. I think it was over 200,000 blacks and a couple hundred Arabs when they first conquered Spain and Portugal. Okay, but they were black, and a lot of people, you know, mistake the Moors, think, because some of them, many of them were Muslims. Some of them were not, though. Okay, when they hear the word Muslim, they automatically think Arabic. And there are tons of black Muslims. There have always been black Muslims since the whole thing got started. In fact, I believe it was Muhammad who had 2 adopted African sons. And when Muslims got in, you know, when they had their big fallout out, Muhammad sent one of his sons and got some Ethiopians to come back there and help him kick some ass. Okay, you gotta learn the real history of things, fellas, and not just go along like blind sheep. Especially if you're in any of the religions. If you're in the Muslim religion or Christian religion, you gotta learn the real truth. Okay, do real history research. It'll open your eyes. It really will open your eyes. Like probably a lot of Muslims didn't know that, you know, Muhammad had 2 adopted sons. They were black. There were black people there. There always have been black people there, because we know that, you know, black folks migrated. We now know that they migrated into Yemen, you know, and then into what Northern Europe has mislabeled the Middle East. And I think Middle Easterns don't like that term either. Like they tried to label Asia the Orient and Orientals, and Asian folks don't like that term. The whole continent was called Asia, and you know, the Caucasian folks got their own section, start calling it Europe. That's actually mislabeled. But, you know, they control the world. They control Africa. They renamed Africa from its original name, and it was named after someone named Africanus. This is some history for you fellas. And they renamed the direction of northern Egypt and southern Egypt. Yeah, just so that it wouldn't show that the history of the pyramids getting built, you know, from the bottom part of Egypt up into the north. They got better and better. And then below that, and what I guess is called Sudan now. You got tons of pyramids there also that we don't focus on. So, when you start studying something there, Mr. Lama, you want to actually do your own research. NWA, there were rappers in this country. Yes, I bought their records, but you listen to some propaganda shit, and then ask yourself, so what? You're in Australia. How's that affect you? Are you thinking they're going to take over the whole country and then go to your country and take over? One race of, forgive me, my Mexican brothers, of created human beings? Them do all that? No. Come on. And I apologize for created, but that's basically what has happened. Most of us African Americans in this country, we are created also. There's some white guys sitting there, and we're eating scraps off this table. Okay, and that's our mulattoes. We're eating scraps off the table. My grandfather, on my mom's side, my dad's father was Caucasian, but my grandfather on my mom's side, black man with cold blue eyes, and didn't know how to pick cotton, didn't know how to do anything. He was raised amongst the white folks. He was their driver. I believe he was his father's driver. I think his biological father, took him in the house to watch after him. Luther Pankey. What kind of name is that? Luther is German, so is Pankey, I believe. And I did research myself. I looked back in there, and there was a Luther Pankey, white man, whose wife was pregnant. So where'd he go? He went to Darktown and got himself a darky wife, or not darky woman rather. Sorry, excuse me, and had a child. My grandfather never would talk about, his family, ever. He didn't talk about growing up. We just know that he was their chauffeur. And my grandmother lost her property because, her first husband died. And you guys aren't aware, but, American Indians had slaves. Her father was a full-blooded Choctaw. And I don't know if it was through slavery or through marriage, but, she had a lot of property out there in Arkansas. And I know that the American Indians who fought for the South, they lost their land, and some black folks got it, some white folks got it. So I believe that's what happened there. But my mom's father, as I said, he was a chauffeur. So talk about creating stuff and stuff like that. It is what it is, fellas. All we can do is just be who we are and keep rolling, keep stepping. Peace.